So we're having a problem with the video feed. We're trying to work some bugs out, stuff like that. But we're going to go on with the show. I just press record, and we're off. So what I want to do tonight is I want to discuss a few things that we didn't get to last night. And after that, we are going to get into the haunts of the park. So...
Probably going to be a little bit longer tonight, right?
Yeah, we're not going to be as time constrained as we were yesterday. We had some technical problems yesterday.
Yeah, we're still kind of working them out though.
Yeah. But I did some research on that last night, and I pretty much came up with what the problem was.
What was the problem?
You,
oh.
Man, you were the problem.
But I'm you.
You're my little me?
So are we the problem?
Yeah, it could be. It could be. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to finish the show from last night. What I wanted to get into is who we are, what my... what am I trying to say? What my...
You're what, man? You're what?
This is show number 2. My opinion on hauntings and the paranormal and what I would describe as paranormal beyond a reasonable doubt. And what I would like to do is go and ask both of you your views on paranormal and ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts and stuff like that?
Open discussion?
Yeah, kind of like an open discussion.
I like the sounds of that.
Get to know each other, get our opinions on the paranormal. So we'll start with you, Junior. What do you think?
We're going to start with me?
Yeah.
My opinion on the paranormal?
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not normal.
Well,
if I had to say that, but in truth, I'm still fairly skeptic, but I think I accept that there are things out there that we just don't know. We just don't know.
I agree. And we're going to get into a couple of years ago. Do you remember the mother and the daughter that were here?
Mm-hmm.
Michelle and the rookie.
How could I forget?
Yes. We're going to get into that night because that night was a kind of a special night for me regarding the paranormal. But let's move on to the beautiful Moxie. What is your opinion of the paranormal? What do you think is going on out there?
I think there's probably a reasonable explanation for it. That it's not something so ghostly as you believe.
Oh.
Last night, there was something I'm trying to still explain.
Was it the touch on the ear?
Yeah, the touch on the ear was explained quickly with a few curse words. I apologize for the families again.
That was pretty funny.
I wish I had gotten it on video.
Well, let me start by giving you all my opinion. Now, what I like to do is I like to try to produce paranormal beyond a reasonable doubt.
Well, it's definitely not normal.
And
if I had to
what it can, yeah. So, what I do is I believe there's pretty much 2 types of haunting. There is an intelligent haunting, and the intelligent haunting can do different things. They can interact with you, stuff like that. And also, I believe that there are poltergeists.
Interact with you how?
Like if you ask it to knock, please knock 3 times, and then all of a sudden you get 3 knocks. That type of interaction.
Oh, I see. Okay. Like a call and response or move this ball.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yep. And the second one is the poltergeist, which is don't be afraid. I don't mean it to scare anybody.
I'm shaking in my boots, Casper Cop.
The simple definition of poltergeist is noisy ghost, which at that point I believe that they can actually manipulate objects, throw quarters, and we're going to talk about that tonight. I'm not a real big fan of the ghost equipment.
Like voice boxes and all that?
Yeah, no. not a big fan of those.
What are you a fan of?
I am a fan of hardcore paranormal.
And what's hardcore paranormal?
Hardcore paranormal is when you're in a dark room asking for something to happen, and something actually massive happens, like coins flying through the air, objects moving, apparitions.
Have you had that happen to you?
I'm glad you asked that, Motzi. Let me get into where the haunts of the park. So, I started out my first year here investigating the Yesterday's Royale. I started in the summertime of 2013, and I spent many nights alone up there. It never really gave me what I was looking for, like the hardcore paranormal. Although now, it always kept me interested, but now that I am convinced that it is haunted beyond a reasonable doubt, I should go back and look at some of the stuff that we got back then.
Back from the Yesterday's Royale?
Yeah, back from the Yesterday's Royale, because I was really still a skeptic at that point.
Did we get anything from there on video? Most of the stuff that I recall was mostly personal experiences, like messing with phones. We still never did find that, we lost a camera cap, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
We
were in the bar.
Yeah.
We still never found that.
Nope.
It came right out of your bag. Disappeared.
Gone.
Poof. Vanished.
Yeah. But we're going to get into that.
Is that an example of the physical?
That would be an example of the poltergeist.
The poltergeist? Oh,
yes.
Okay. Just doesn't care. It's just doing whatever it does.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and let me add, I do not believe that there's anything evil out there. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I'm not a big fan of, like, the demonology type of thing.
That's where we differ again.
Yes, I know we do.
I truly believe
And
in
we
evil.
can have a discussion after, maybe towards
You have
the
your
end.
say, honey.
Right, after I end my flow. But anyway, so when the park closed in 2013, unfortunately, the Yesterday's Royale never opened up after that. However, I did continue with the tours, and that is when the Park After Dark ghost tours were born. And that's when the Casper Cops were born. So, my very first night out in the park, there were, I would say, 9 of us. And I was audio recording at that time. I didn't have my video.
There was no video?
No, I didn't have any video. Because I did the tour in the Yesterday's Royale, and like I said, it kept me interested and stuff, but I always audio recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Always. I did some type of recording, but I'll continue with my story here. So, there was a few of us, and we were sitting in the arcade. Now, not the middle arcade. It's the one along Canal Street arcade.
Right next to the road?
Yes, right next to the road. So we're sitting there conducting an EVP session. EVP, I'm sure you're familiar with electronic voice phenomenon. If you're not familiar with it, there is a theory that the electronic devices can pick up more things than the human ear. Right.
Like ghosts.
So, right. Yes, the ghosts. And you know what? I'm not even sure I'm a big fan of EVPs. I'm not.
Very, very rarely do I see an EVP that's very hardcore evidence. That could just be. It's very easy for me to hear an EVP and just be like, no, that was a door, or that was somebody walking, especially in these older buildings.
Yeah, and especially it is an amusement park, and there are people walking through this park
all over
all the time.
Right between 2 pretty big bars in town too.
Yeah.
So I mean.
Right. So yeah, when they're walking, it's public property, walking up and down the sidewalk.
Right. There's just too many variables.
Right. And any time that the park is closed, I do take the opportunity to put like a recorder up in this area, because this area is haunted.
Right.
I truly believe that the haunts do move about the park. And this is the area where I believe the little girl originates from. But anyway, so this area, we were in the arcade, and we were conducting an EVP session, and I heard somebody take a deep breath, and I'm listening to my audio with earphones, so I'm actually listening to it in real time through my digital device. So I thought I heard somebody take a deep breath, and I asked, hey, did somebody just take a deep breath? And a gentleman 2 people down from me said, yeah, that was me. Is that something that you listen for? And I said, yes, it is. However, I'll be listening to this, a couple days from now, and now I'll know that somebody actually did take a deep breath.
So we can kind of get it like documented in there.
Right.
We're not like, whoa, what was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
What?
Was that a deep breath?
What was that? Who? Shh. Quiet.
Oh, it was a deep breath. I just said someone took it. Okay, that was a deep
somebody
breath.
just said it. Yeah. All right. We're good. So.
False alarm, everybody.
So once I said that, right after I completed that sentence, we heard a coin drop from out of nowhere. I mean, we were all sitting together, I was sitting Indian style. We were all on the floor, and I'm like, "Hey, did anybody just drop a quarter or coin or something?"
And how many people were there?
There was, if I can remember correctly, I think there were 9.
So quite a few people.
Yeah,
a pretty healthy amount.
Yeah, and this was the very first time out in the park for first night ever in this arcade. And this arcade, the ghost hunters didn't even investigate it. So
they were so close.
They were so close. I mean, I think they were parked right there. And they missed the most haunted place in the whole world. But anyway, I love the ghost hunters. Don't send me email or hate mail.
Whole world, huh?
Right. I love everybody. So anyway, everybody denied even moving at the time. So I got up, I walked over the direction where I thought I heard it land, and lo and behold, there was a quarter laying there.
On the ground.
On the ground. So I'm like, I picked it up, and I'm like, hey, are you sure nobody dropped this? Because I heard it. Now, remember, you can listen to this audio at CasperCops.com. I do have that posted, and it's under the park. And all the stories that I'm going to tell you today, is all the stuff is posted on my website. So everybody denied dropping the quarter. So I picked it up and I put it in my pocket. I'm like, okay, still kind of a skeptic. I don't know why. I mean, I was sitting there with that guy. He was 2 people away, and we found that quarter probably about 4 or 5 feet away from that guy.
And nobody threw it.
Nobody, yeah, no, I didn't see anybody throw it. In fact, if I remember correctly, it didn't even sound like it bounced.
It just dropped?
It just dropped. I'll have to go and review that.
For like the 1,000th time?
For the 1,000th time, yes. Well, no, there's not that many. Well, when you view something, does it count as one view? Because I've been viewing.
You've been reviewing it over and over and over and over.
But anyway, so I picked up the quarter and I put it in my pocket, and we moved on. Nothing else happened that night. That time of the tours was in its infant stages, so word wasn't really getting out, and they didn't really have a lot of people. So there were a few weeks after that I did not have any participants. So what I would do is after the park closed, I would go in there and sit there alone and see if I could get something to happen like that. And it never did. I don't know why. I wanted it to.
So this is a poltergeist.
Well, at the time, I'm still a skeptic. I wasn't quite convinced yet. I don't know why I wasn't, but so
fair enough.
The second time I had participants in that building, there was quite a few of us. There were probably, I would say, between 12 and 15 of us And that night, I hear what sounded like a piece of wood hit the floor. I mean, everybody heard it. So I walked over in the direction where I heard that piece of wood hit the floor. And lo and behold, there was a piece of wood. Thank you, Junior.
Forgot to turn that on.
Yes, we did.
What kind of radio host are we?
It is hot up here, folks.
Oh,
Believe
it
me.
is.
But anyway, so I walked in the area where I thought I heard the piece of wood, and lo and behold, there was a piece of wood, and it looked like a door shim. A shim that like props open a door.
You slide underneath the door.
Yeah, and it holds it open. So I picked it up, and I'm like, hey, did anybody accidentally kick this or, throw it? And everybody's like, no, we didn't do anything. And after I said that, a coin comes flying through the air and lands at my feet. So I immediately took my flashlight, and I pointed it in the general direction of where I thought that coin came from. And there were two people standing there. So
Were they looking at you wide-eyed like, what?
Their reaction when I questioned them, in my mind, I thought they threw that. I thought they did.
But looking back.
No, they did not.
They didn't throw the quarter?
And unfortunately, I convinced them that they didn't have a paranormal experience when we all just did.
So
twice.
They
we had the wood and that.
They knew that they didn't throw the quarter, but you convinced them that they did?
Pretty much. I'm like, hey guys, look, I take this seriously. Please don't screw around, because during this portion of the tour, I do give a big speech to everybody.
Now we do.
Yes, and there has to be some type of level of trust amongst us all in order for this investigation portion to work. So I give a speech, and then we continue with an investigation. So that night, I picked up that coin, put it in my pocket. We went on. Then comes August 9th, 2014. I remember that day well.
Do you remember the time?
Junior, man.
It was 10:32 at night on a Friday. August 9th, 2014. The weather was overcast.
Where's I should have like creepy music going. But anyway. So, that night there were 4 of us. And that night I decided we were going to start video recording. So, we were in the arcade once again. That was the night I was convinced that this park was haunted. At least the building there was haunted beyond any reasonable doubt whatsoever. Period. And there isn't anybody that's going to change my mind. Period. That's the type of activity I'm looking for. I'm going to tell you what it is. So we are in there, and we could literally hear what sounded like change jingling in somebody's pocket. Suddenly a coin would fly. We would hear a coin hit the floor somewhere. We would go and investigate. Look around. Now, we are all together. We were in a small group. And there were 3 females and me. And my heart was pumping at that point.
You had to calm down.
Not at that point. But yeah, my heart was starting to race. Because I know that none of them people threw any coin, period. And I know that none of them people were jingling change in their pocket, period. But yet, you can hear it on my video. So anyway, this is the poltergeist that I'm talking about. So anyway, we would investigate the area where we thought we heard a coin drop. However, we found no coins that day. Suddenly, we would hear a coin drop in a second area, so we're rushing to that area. Now, I'm turning the corner, and on the air hockey table, I saw this object. It was round, it was dark in color, and it looked like it was full of coins.
It was like a bag?
Yes, it was like a bag, but at the time, it was still registering, and I had no clue.
So you just
what
saw
it
like
was.
this blur of.
It wasn't
something.
even a blur, man. It was plain as day. No blur. No. It was even like the quarters on top were glycering. And I literally had my video camera looking in the direction that I was looking at. So that night, I thought I had the Holy Grail. I thought I was like, I am the king paranormal investigator. But no. Anyway, the truth is, that night, I was so freaked out, I had to step back and say, James, man, you are the host, and you've got...
keep it together.
Yeah, I got to keep it together here. But anyways, this object slowly rolled off of the air hockey table. It was on the corner. Now, I don't even know why it was on there or why I even saw it. To date, I don't know why. It slowly rolled off of the air hockey table, and I expected quarters to go everywhere. Everywhere, man. Because, I mean, it was about
it was
this
big or
that big around. Yeah, it was heaping. So it rolled off, and when it hit, when I visually saw it hit, the sound of only one coin was recorded on my video. And I was like,
where's the rest of it?
And we only heard one coin.
The people in there?
The people in there. Everybody.
You heard the coin?
Yeah, we heard that coin. We all heard one coin. However, I expected hundreds of coins to go everywhere. So, because that's what I saw.
Right.
So I'm like, oh my God, I got it. I got the Holy Grail. No.
Nope.
That what I saw did not come up on my video. That was all in my head, perfectly timed to where you only hear one coin. However, I saw hundreds fall to that floor.
What'd your camera see?
Nothing. Audio-wise, we got the coin. Not visual. Because I'm standing there, and we're in that area, and I'm like, I got it. I don't know what I got, because at the time, I did not know what I got. I didn't know what I had. So, I'm like, that night, I'm like going home, and that's the first thing I'm going to do. In fact, I don't even think I waited until I got home. I went out to the car and reviewed it right then and there in the car, because at that point, I was still using the mini DVs, ancient. But I had,
what the heck is a DV?
Yeah, mini DV.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Well, way back when Fred Flintstone was still roaming the earth.
Oh, come on. That's a little bit much there.
But you got to charge it with some, like, bird stuff or crank the bird up?
You
or
had
like
to,
hamster wheel?
Run in place.
Run in place like a treadmill, like a hamster treadmill in there? You had to give it the static electricity yourself to get it going?
Look, Junior, I was told we had to keep on talking points, okay? So let's keep on talking points.
Okay. What are we talking about?
See, that's the problem, man. I just forgot. No, but anyway.
We were obviously talking about mini DVs. That was the important.
Right. So I even reviewed it that night, and turns out that I did not get anything on it. It was all in my head. Visually was all in my head. And that was the night I'm like, hey, there is truly something going on here that none of us understand. And if we think we understand it, it's pretty arrogant of us. Because, let me tell you, I am convinced that whatever haunts here knows me, understands me, and also likes messing with me.
Messing with you?
Messing with me.
Why is that?
Let me tell you, Junior, you were there. We're going to talk about our little experience.
Oh, this one?
Yes. We had Michelle and her daughter, Abigail, the rookie. I met them, it was, 2 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Time's flying.
I know.
I'm getting old.
All this Casper Cop stuff.
I'm going to be 40 next year. Can you believe that? What does that make you?
Am I dead?
Are you a ghost?
I don't think I was. I is.
Do ghosts know they're ghosts? Are we ghosts?
Dude.
All right, on topic.
On topic. So anyway, one night we had two of my favorite participants, Michelle and the rookie. We were in the arcade. And that night, we could literally hear change jingling. It sounded like change jingling in somebody's pocket. And I think that was one of your first paranormal experiences, wasn't it?
No, my first paranormal experience came in the Royale.
Oh. All right, well, we'll finish telling this story, and then we'll get to that.
Oh, you want me to tell that story?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? So, anyway, where was I?
Mini DVs? No, we were hearing the sounds of change jingling.
Right, we were hearing sounds of... That's why I have you here, Junior. We were hearing sounds jingling. I mean, and that... At one point, I remember, and it's even on the video where I told you to turn around, and you said, no, I'm too scared.
I did say that.
Yes,
I remember.
You did. Because, why? You were...
Well, obviously, because if there was something behind me, I wouldn't want to get it on video. That would be way too easy. Come on.
Right? True. We've had to have a couple talks regarding video. But anyway. Oh, we see there's the rookie. She's on now. Hi, rookie.
That was scary. That was right behind me.
You know
can
what?
you imagine how I felt? That was scary for you.
Abigail, the reason why you are the rookie is because that night, even I had goosebumps, and you took it like a true Casper Cop. You were right in there with me. You were doing stuff. You were asking for it to happen, and it was happening that night. So that was awesome. You are the number one Casper Cop in my book. But anyway, so that night I was totally convinced that whoever haunted the park was there. So what I normally do is prior to starting the investigation, I put 2 quarters up on a counter. Why? Because they like to throw quarters. So I offer them quarters. And we even roll quarters, request them to, have them roll back.
Keep it rolling.
Keep them rolling. So that particular night, I was convinced that the haunt was there. I went and retrieved one of the quarters off of the table. I put it in my hand. This was the first night I ever tried this. So I'm like...
I had the camera glued to your hand
the
whole time.
I'm like, if this... Junior, if this moves, you better get this one because, dude, can you imagine what I would have did to you if something like that? Well, you didn't even get it anyways.
What?
You didn't get the whole thing. Well, I'm going to tell the rest of the story because
what did I miss?
Our battery went dead. Remember?
Well, what do you want me to do about that?
I know.
I didn't bring my hamster wheel to recharge it.
So anyway, I went. Our battery was going, and nothing happened with that quarter. It didn't take it out of my hand. Even the rookie tried it. We would actually feel almost like cold spots, and in the dark, I could feel the quarter moving, but it was not moving, that type of thing. And I'm not saying that's paranormal. That's just my experience with it. So I put it into the rookie's hands, in her hand, and she kind of felt the same thing. So it kind of correlated our 2 personal experiences there. And so the camera battery was going dead, and I usually park right behind that building. So I decided, okay, we're going to move on. I'll go out, get my spare battery out of my car. So I turned on the lights, went to get my second quarter off of the table. And guess what, Junior?
was gone.
Yes, it was gone.
Wow.
And
of course, the camera battery was dead at this time.
Yes, and there's no video. So I question everybody. And I know they didn't take it. I know Michelle and the rookie didn't take it.
Did I take it? Was it me?
Maybe you did, man.
Was it me?
I was, you son of a gun. I'm thinking back now. I've been telling that story for how long? And it was you the whole time.
The real question is, how did I make the sounds of change jingling in my pocket with no change in my pocket?
And what was that smell in the car?
I'm a true magician.
True.
What was that smell in the car? Did something in your pants that night?
It was sulfur. It was part of the demon.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, the coin was gone the second quarter. So I'm like, hey, did anybody take that? Everybody denied it. So, I went out the back door, retrieved my extra battery out of the car. Now, the lights are on in the arcade. We're ready to go move on. My first step back into the arcade, I felt something on my left foot, and I looked down just in time to see my second quarter roll off of my left foot.
How did I do that?
Junior, I don't know how you did it.
It's magic.
But no, I know you didn't do it.
No,
I know it was my haunt that did it. So that particular night, they did not take that quarter out of my hand. They took the other one and put it on my foot. Now, Moxie, what would you think of that? Well, if that were to happen to you, what would you think?
I'd still have to see it myself, as I'm reading the rookie and Michelle. They're kind of agreeing with you here.
Well, they were there.
I'm liking to see that. But again, I'm one who has to see it for herself.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll see it. I'm trying to show you. Wait.
Staying on topic today.
All right. So now let's get into. We can change subject. So what do you think? What do you think of the stories? I mean, you were there. What do you think of that night?
That night was certainly a roller coaster of feelings as far as that goes. I didn't see the quarter land on your foot. I did hear it roll off. I heard it roll off. My first instinct was that you dropped it. It fell out of your pocket or something like that. But that doesn't really make any sense because you had your handful with the keys and the battery for the new battery.
Yep.
So that really didn't make any sense. As far as to where the first quarter or where the second quarter even went to begin with, I don't know. It's as I said, there's just things I don't understand and how they happen, and I think this was a pretty good display of one of those scenarios where I just don't know.
Was your quarter still in your pocket? The first quarter?
The first quarter was, yes.
Still in your pocket?
Still in my pocket.
Right, you pocketed the first one
after
trying to get it take out of your hand.
Correct.
You pocketed it.
Yep.
Went to grab the second one.
The rookie had it in her hand first, and then
when the camera battery was dying.
And then the camera battery was dying.
Right, and then you took it out of her hand and pocketed that one. Went to grab the other one.
Went to grab the other one.
And that one was gone.
Correct.
I don't know. I truly have no idea.
So that's the night that I was convinced that not only do they know, they mess with us. And I think it's the little girl. Because one night, I'll tell you why. One night, again, we were in the arcade. That arcade seems to be the hot spot. And we also had the same type of activity back in the back storage area in the corner of
behind Lakeshore.
Behind Lakeshore.
Yeah.
And that used to be Lakeshore Bar and Grill. It used to go all the way like down the side.
Right next to the rotor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That rotor, in fact, the rotor would be like in the middle. It used to go down and be like an L. And it used to face part of it faced the lake. And the other part came up the road. So that's how that went. And actually, when you're in that back area, you can see where the bar was on the floor because it's kind of like a dip.
You can
type
kind of
thing.
see in the architecture of the building
Yeah.
when you're in there.
Yeah, when you're in there.
You can almost get a feel for the layout
Yep.
of how it used to be.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So we have had coin activity in there. But
We've had a nail activity too. I'm
Yep,
pretty
we
sure,
had.
right?
I had it happen twice to nail. You had it happen once.
I did. I remember the nail.
Yep, that was
Vaguely.
Halloween
Vaguely.
night, 2015.
15 or 14?
15.
Are you
15?
booking for this holiday? This Halloween?
We're hoping to. We'll have to see. We take it day by day. here.
Tentative.
Nice.
So.
We will take it.
Holy cow! We have been on for what? 50? How long for?
42 minutes. 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Holy crap! I hope everybody's enjoying our little talk because I am. I'm just getting lost. I love talking.
I know. You're
paranormal.
just talking. We're not even here.
No, we're just talking the
I
talk.
don't know. You've been kind of staring a hole in me while you've been telling this. I'm getting a little worried.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about the tour last night. Dude, how many personal experiences did we have?
It was non-stop personal
I
experiences.
know. That was a crazy night. Right off the...
Moxie had a couple personal experiences.
Yeah. One big one.
It sticks with me.
It may or may not have been paranormal,
Yeah.
but it was definitely not normal.
Two that stick with me then.
Right. We'll talk about what you think the real paranormal, and some of the photos that we've seen. Now, let me add, we have been seeing some amazing photos
And video.
some amazing video this year from participants.
Wasn't even from us.
It wasn't even from us, and we were like,
That's what makes it a bit more believing to me.
Right.
It wasn't yours.
right. So we have been requesting, hey, can you send us a copy so we can
Please?
get it out, please?
Please?
And-
I want this one.
yeah,
We've begged a little bit.
I know.
Yeah,
We just
I'm begging
people
for
just.
last night's ride.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm really happy that people are catching these things on video, but
yeah,
I can't really be mad. They had a good time.
yeah. They had
a good time. They went home. They got something to show their friends.
Absolutely.
But we don't.
No,
We don't have anything to show
Nothing.
our friends.
Ouch.
We have memories.
so this. What do you? Go ahead. Continue. What was that picture about? The Tip Top ride.
Yeah, the Tip Top ride. I'm not familiar with your tour as well as you are. You had them ride last night and asked the participants who didn't ride to take photos. And one lovely lady did capture quite the image that's extremely hard to
Explain.
dispute.
Yeah.
That it isn't a man's head, face, eyes, ears.
The whole
hat.
shoot and caboodle.
I actually could probably draw this face.
Engraved in
It
your
was-
mind.
Yeah.
Oh man, you have
Yeah.
nightmares about it?
My jaw did drop. I was not expecting to see that. I was expecting to see another, blur and light flash or explainable something, especially coming from someone who takes a lot of photos. There's a lot of things that really are because of the photo or something that happened, and not usually full faces.
Right.
No, I didn't actually see the photo. Was this in a cart that someone else was in? Or was this an empty cart?
Well, the thing is, it was in a position where if I can remember, because again, we don't have the photo, so we can't really.
Wait, what? They didn't send it to us?
Oh, we're
Y-
begging,
right.
please send.
Right, they didn't send it to us, but remember the video we saw?
Of your hood?
That was
So
great.
many.
So,
I-
anyways,
Yeah. So
Please, just
the
send
photo
us some
is,
footage.
The photo is it
hard to
appears.
tell what cart
Yeah.
he was in or if he was alone or not. Listen to me now. Jeez.
Right. Well, but there was nobody on there that had that kind of hat on. Nobody.
No, I did take a photo myself of every single person who rode the ride, and the empty carts as well, and nowhere.
So we have a full
Was there
roster of who
gentlemen.
was on the ride.
Yes.
Nice.
Could you imagine seeing that picture and then that man being in your cart?
Right.
Like, oh my god.
That man definitely would have scared the bejesus out of me.
Yeah. Well,
You weren't even on the ride and it scared the bejesus out of you.
Yeah, my mouth did come open. I was shocked. He got a little farther last night. I thought with that photo that it was a good one.
yeah. Right.
It's one to be investigated more for sure.
Right.
She just needs to send it to us.
Yes. Just send it. But anyway, this ride, it's the Tip Top ride, ladies and gentlemen. It was in motion, and I strongly recommend that if you're here, I mean, it's no admission to get into the park. Again, it's public property on the sidewalks. You can walk up and down the sidewalks all you
You
want.
could walk right up to the rides.
You can walk around and take photos. However,
we strongly suggest you do.
yes, and however, that particular ride has been productive while in motion. Some strange stuff goes on with that ride while in motion, and I don't know why. We should talk about that soon.
Because
I don't know.
somebody likes to ride it.
Creepy old man. Was it Jack?
No,
It wasn't
I
Jack.
think
it's the
kind of
little girl. That's the picture. That's where we got the picture.
No,
of
I'm
the little
talking
girl.
about the old man.
No, it was. I mean,
What kind of
what
hat
does
was he
Jack
wearing?
look like?
Jack is rather tall. He's when I saw him, he was wearing like a gangster style hat. You know what? It might have been Jack.
Was
He
it
had like
Scotty?
facial hair.
No,
What's that?
this photo did not have facial hair. It was that clear.
Yeah, I'm thinking back now. It didn't look like it did.
So Scotty?
I don't know what Scotty looks.
This is a
Looks like
man.
Kind of a little bit of a pointy nose, a little bigger ears, a haircut that was so short it was hidden underneath worker cowboy's hat, so to speak, not the gangster style hat. The old
right. Yeah, like the
Yes.
fedora type of hat.
yeah, I can't recall the name of it, and I don't want to put what I said last night out there. But you know what hat I'm talking about.
You remember the
This
game?
person wore it.
The game hat from when you were in high school, the hockey
fedora.
Game. That
It
was
was a fedora.
That's the type of hat that it would look like to me.
Yeah.
To me, and that was a pretty impressive picture. So
Send it in.
Wow, I really wish I could see it somehow.
I know that would be great, but you know, so
she'll contact you.
you could go to my website CasperCops.com
Or on Facebook.
or on Facebook even Casper Cops,
And private message it.
and yeah, there you go. That would be an idea.
If you have it on your Facebook, you can also tag Casper Cops.
Mm-hmm. There's many ways that you
We
can
just
get-
ask for one.
one.
Just
That's it.
one way. Please.
And
Help
the
us
video
out.
too.
Help us out.
That video. That was awesome. But anyway. All right. So there you have it. The main haunt that haunts here at the park that I've actually have documented is Jack and the little girl. And the way that I tell them apart is when the little girl walks down these hallways, it sounds like she has bare feet. Jack, I've had recorded in the arcade and also in that back storage area. And he wears hard sole shoes like cowboy boots, and you actually hear them.
Wow, that's some
Yeah, that's my
stellar sound effects.
Oh yeah, dude, that was. I had
It
lived. that.
sounded more like hard sole socks.
Hey, dude, come on.
So
Where's
did
the
you
love?
Hear his spurs Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I didn't say spurs. Jack was an old carny. He didn't ride a horse.
You did say
said
cowboy
maybe you
cowboy
did.
boots.
You did say cowboy boots.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does. Maybe they're hard sole shoes.
Boots.
Whatever.
What
He wears
boots?
hard sole stuff.
Hard
How's
sole
that?
gloves.
Stuff.
He's hard sole on his feet. So, I think. Holy crap! We've been almost 50 minutes. So this.
And you haven't
Last-
taken a breath.
I know.
I know your face
I
is
wanted
getting a
to
little
hear
red.
from Junior.
I'm right here. Hello.
What do you want to know from Junior?
What do you want to know from Junior?
Well,
Social
we wanted
security
to-
number,
Yes.
credit card information.
That'll work. Routing number as well.
So we got two things we're going to get to before we end. First one is the paranormal experience that you were talking about in yesterday's Royale, and the second one is me and you going back and forth on the evil thing. So go ahead, Junior. What was your paranormal experience in the yesterday's Royale?
Oh, this was a while ago. This is still while it was open. I think it was about a year before it closed. And I was up there with Casper Kopp. And we went up with a couple people, actually. And it was me, Casper Kopp, and a couple good friends of ours. And we were investigating the balcony right over Jack's room. Actually, I believe Casper Kopp was in Jack's room, and I had the camera just kind of angled down, looking over the balcony. And there's only one way up into that area, because it's just it's like a really, really big hallway roundabout. So I had the camera angled down, looking over the balcony, while me and my friend were looking down the hallway. And at the end of this hallway, there is a fairly illuminated window that stayed pretty illuminated throughout the night. As we said earlier, there's some bars that like to stay open and like to keep bright lights on to advertise. So my friend and I were looking down this hall, and we glanced at each other. We just chat for a little bit, and then we go back to looking down this hall, and I see a shadow figure move from the window, and it looked like it just bolted right around the corner, like it was running away from us, and I froze. I completely locked up. I looked at my friend. There were tears in my eyes. I saw tears in his eyes. We were both just like, please, just tell me you also didn't see that, please.
Now, this is in the same area during the Ghost Hunters episode where they saw this
Yes.
down that
Yep.
hallway.
Yep.
That's awesome. So, Moxie, have you ever had a paranormal experience at all, anywhere?
I've had two experiences that are unexplained, yes.
Would you like to share, or are they personal?
One, I don't know, I think I was 12, 13 years old in my bedroom in my parents' home. We lived in this old house. It was like 120 years old when we were living there ourselves. And it used to be a doctor's office, so strange things would happen on and off in this home. And it's still there now, actually. And one day I was in my bedroom, and all of a sudden, like I said, was an old home, so I had all these beautiful windows in my room, probably about 6 of them. They all had shades that were drawn. And one day, all the lights, everything just came right on in my room, and every single shade came up, just flying. I about bolted out of that bedroom, and of course my mother laughed and said, "Don't worry, they're ghosts. They've been in this house forever."
So she knew about them?
Well, she truly believes. I was raised with a believer. For a while there, when I did first move out, I felt like something had moved with me. But again, as the years go by and science doesn't fit the bill, it makes me a hard believer.
Right. Well, that was me prior to the park. I was a big skeptic. That's part of the
Something, but
yeah.
what really?
Right. That's where I'm at, and
I believe in spirits.
that's okay. Yeah, good segue. So go ahead. Tell me what.
What?
Tell me what you believe, or do you want me to
Well, I
go?
believe in the afterlife, and I believe in spirits, and that's where I believe that if there are what you call ghosts, that they're really just spirits who are caught here, trying to go into the next realm.
So you're leaning more on the belief that they are dead people's spirits.
Yes.
Okay. And
Wrong. No, just kidding.
You are wrong. You are so wrong. We got to get a sound effect board, man.
We do.
We
really need to
do.
get that mixing board.
I got some good sound effects, but I'm like, I'm not. We're like rolling here, and I'm not gonna go and dig for them. But all right, well, we will end on this. Here's my take on this whole spirit thing. I like to go into it with a total open mind. I don't.
Definitely should, rookie.
I don't. What did she say? We should go for a.
Halloween.
Ooh, yeah, it's kind of cut off here, but. So as far as the spirit thing, I go into this totally open-minded, meaning that I do not conduct an investigation with my mind thinking that they are dead people. My mind, do I talk the talk when they say that they are dead people? Absolutely, because that seems like where everybody is leaning to.
It's conventional.
Most.
Right, mostly.
Most. Not all. Or
Not all. You got me.
be disputed.
Right, right. And as you can see when you go to my website, as you can see when you go to my website, one of the first pictures, it looks like Casper Cop being crucified. And that's
some pretty
what
edgy stuff, Casper Cop.
What's that?
That's some pretty edgy stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty
Agreed.
edgy. And I knew that I was going to be crucified for my beliefs and my way of conducting an investigation.
And have you really been crucified?
I've got some haters. I do. I've had some pretty in-depth conversations, and yeah, I think
Non-believers.
there's some.
Hate's a strong word.
Yeah. Wow.
On topic.
Right.
Someone who
We're not going to talk about the haters, but anyway, I think as an investigator, we should all go into it with an open mind. And again, for us to believe that we have it figured out, I think that's pretty arrogant on our part, because we don't. Even science, ghosts do not exist in science eyes. Period. They just don't.
I'm not so sure they do at all.
Wait, didn't you just say you had an experience?
I said it was something strange.
Oh, something unexplained?
Electricity is explained.
Yeah.
Go on. What?
We're like,
What-
hanging
what-
on.
I know
We're
you-
just looking at your beauty.
You kind of buried the lead here. Where is this going?
Well, electricity coming on and off is explained
Right.
easily.
Right?
I just went silent because the curtains all up at the same time is not explainable.
Right.
It's easily explainable.
So
Because I could come up with a crack like, they were old.
So now, do you believe that there is that part of the paranormal, that there is evil?
Absolutely. If there is a a spirit world, a ghost world, it comes in good and evil just as well as this world.
Well, again, that's where I differ. I fight for the haunts. I don't think they're evil.
You draw what you hope to be not evil towards
Correct.
you. That's what you ask for.
Well, I know I've asked for prior to the park. I mean, you should have seen some of my techniques. I've been to some pretty creepy places and done some
Asking for
really,
evil,
yeah.
or just asking to show us
One
up.
time I went up to, are you familiar with Madison Barracks? You were there. I took you there one time up in Sackett's Harbor. I investigated the old barracks up there, and up in the chow hall. I went up, and there's video of me, and I went in there like a drill sergeant, and I just started swearing, and I started giving orders, and I started calling everything and everybody names there, and just to try to get some type of reaction, and we never got any reaction like that. But so, do you believe that they could actually possess you?
Yes.
Junior?
You don't seem so confident in your answer.
Well, it's an easy way to explain extremely evil people in this world.
You don't think people could just be innately evil?
Yes. I'm agreeable tonight.
All right. Well,
It's such a answer one sentence and such a. It's not a simple question to get such a simple answer.
right. I understand, because the fact is nobody knows.
Right.
I don't
No.
understand. Explain yourself right now. No?
Explain what?
I don't know.
Explain which part of myself.
That's just Junior being Junior.
I know.
That's what I'm here for.
Here's my take. The unknown isn't evil. It's just misunderstood. Now, I understand that there are things out there that we will perceive as being evil. Like, the scratches. I believe that people actually do get scratched, and I do believe whatever is out there can actually manipulate things like that. It can throw coins. I know it can. When it takes a step, I know that if it steps on a hard object like a nail, it makes a sound. I know that. I've got it. We've witnessed it. I've got it documented. As far as them actually possessing you, no. I don't think they can physically hurt you other than maybe a little scratch. And at that, maybe that's just one of the ways that they can actually communicate with us.
It's possible.
Why are we looking at it as an evil thing? I wouldn't look at it as evil.
I didn't say it's all evil.
Right. Well, no, I'm just referring to like when people, like you see on these shows or these videos, streaming videos, people actually getting scratched.
It's easy to play towards someone's fears.
Right. Right.
Than it is to actually try to find and explain.
Right.
Simplify.
So, in that case, if somebody's in a cemetery and they get scratched, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, it's demonic. It's the demon. We need exorcism right
The
away.
whole cemetery.
The whole cemetery needs to be blessed. Bless it. But anyway, me on the other hand, if I was in a cemetery and I got scratched, I'd be like, that was so awesome. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm looking for. That's the type of stuff that I want to see.
I want to know more. I don't know if I'd be screaming this place is possessed and evil, and as much as I'd be wanting to know more and what the hell
Right.
scratched me.
Right. Now, would you consider, if you were to get scratched, would you consider that being evil?
Well, it would depend on the scratch. You know, there's
A scratch is a scratch.
We're just talking like a tiny little cut. We're not talking like losing an
yeah,
arm.
if you're like scratched.
Well, there's been...
Or grabbed like I was last night. Yeah, that was pretty damn evil. However,
I wonder what you're talking about.
I haven't got the slightest idea.
I bet, Junior.
That was pretty funny. To fill you guys all in, we had a little incident in the burger shop last night. Nothing paranormal, but Junior broke in Moxie. And it was pretty funny.
It was not.
She had a pretty few choice words at that point in time in the dark.
For the entire group.
For the entire group.
Entire group.
Yes. And unfortunately, I don't have a beeper for Moxie.
On my feet in 2.2 seconds.
But anyways, it was Junior.
Thank gosh.
Right.
Right, you say.
But anyway,
If it was a scratch to say, hey, I'm here, no problem. However, I mean, if you're going to slice me and dice me and scar me here, now that's some evil shit. Just saying.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Gasper Cup.
I know. Well, I guess that music means we're going to wrap things up. What do you think for show number 2? Yay.
It was definitely a little longer this time.
I've got claps, but I'm not going to go look for it.
This is fine.
You're so
This is
lazy.
fine.
Maybe next week I'll be a little bit more
We hear
prepared.
a lot of I'm not gonna from James.
Now she's giving away my identity. My real name. I only introduce myself as James every night.
You do, that's true. I'm James, I'm your host.
But anyway, make sure you all like my Facebook and come on out and join me.
Bye, Rookie.
Yes, bye Michelle, bye Rookie. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed everything. And come on out for a tour every Friday night and Saturday night. And special thanks to Haunted History Trails of New York State and Oneida County Tourism. Junior, you got anything to add, or do you want to promote something?
Nope.
Give a plug?
Nope.
No?
No plug.
And we got our beautiful Moxie from Photos by Moxie.
Be sure to like us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Invite your friends.
Yes. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back next Friday. If you have any questions or comments, comment. Just comment.
Ask.
Yeah. I'll address the questions next week on the next week's show. And then we'll go from there.
Before then, if we get a lot of them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But you know what? I'm going to respond on Facebook. Or no, on the show, not respond on Facebook.
Right. I'm gonna respond live.
So if you have a question, I'll be like, I'll get back to you on Friday night. So be sure to tune in.
Sounds good to me.
I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Make sure you subscribe, like, and if you have
Leave
any
a comment.
suggestions, leave a comment. So that's right. So I hope everybody enjoyed